Hello, I'm Cheyenne Dorkson-Schroeder, Assistant Editor of the Hutchinson News. Today we're talking to different candidates, all from around the state, who are campaigning for different roles that affect our readers. So first of all, go ahead and give me your name, where you're from, what you're running for.
Jim Barnett. I practice medicine in Topeka, but actually grew up on a small farm near Reading by Emporia. Small farm kid, background of being on the Board of Education, practicing medicine, serving in the Senate, being a small business owner. But I'm running for governor, and that's why we're here today. So thank you.
Sure. Tell me a little bit about what isn't working in the state so well. What areas really need the most improvement?
You know, the next governor of Kansas is going to have to create a functioning state government across the board. But if we were to prioritize, number one is education and workforce development. We have 50,000 open jobs right now. And yet we're still educating people in an industrial model where we're telling everyone to go to college. A lot of our college graduates, by the way, it takes 6.2 years to get a 4-year degree on average, have debt, a college degree, and they can't get a job. Yet we've got 50,000 open jobs, welders, plumbers, electricians, wind turbine technicians, nurses, and we're not training them. So we need to change our focus in education, and that's the frustration where there is an answer. And that's one of my passions, actually, as I run for governor.
Okay. Let's talk about solutions. What are some certain changes that you can make if elected as governor to improve this situation?
First of all, we need to change our focus from credits to careers as we look at our young people. We're graduating a lot of young people from high school and college, but they can't get a job. So our success rate is not where it needs to be nearly. Yet, you know, we still spend our time in court talking about funding issues when we really should be focusing on kids, their careers, their success. So the answers to that, I think, lie in a new change that's happening in Kansas called Kansas Can, with the redesign in our schools, focusing from middle school on up of what will that child need to become a successful person, have a job, make good money, become a taxpayer. So rather than focusing on this issue of whether or not we should raise more taxes, I want to raise more taxpayers so that they're successful and then we help our economy grow. There is an answer to that. It needs a focus, and the next governor has to change the narrative in this state that we value education, we value teachers, and we value a pathway for investing our tax dollars wisely to help those children succeed.
Is that shift made with money, or a shift of how taxpayers' dollars are spent? Or is that, how is that achieved?
Money is not the biggest issue. Money is an issue. I am convinced after driving around this state for a year and a half in our red truck that schools are inequitably funded, and by definition they're inadequately funded. But it's not just money. We have this great thing going on with the Commissioner of Education called Kansas Can. Randy Watson is spearheading that. But it really comes down to the local level, teachers, school boards, administrators working together. And there are some extremely, just great success stories in the state that we've got to spread. But the narrative for the governor needs to be that we value that process, we value education, we're willing to invest in that. Right now, you would think that in Kansas we don't value teachers or education. And what bothers me is this. We talk to teacher after teacher, they're telling their own children, don't go into education. The economics don't make sense, and we've lost respect. So as governor, I need to change that narrative.
Now, education is only one aspect of the state of Kansas. If that's improved, will other things in turn improve as well, or are there some separate changes also need to be made?
Many separate changes. So I'm going to give you my 6 top topics, okay? Number one, ag and livestock. The next governor of Kansas has to be very aggressive in supporting ag, and we have to respect the workforce issues and water issues we have in the state. When I announced for governor, I said I'm going to put a sign across I-70 that says we're an ag state and proud of it, and I will do that if I'm your governor. Second is economic development. The next governor of Kansas has to help our state grow economically. We've been in a downslide for 7 years with the Brownback-Collier tax experiment. We've got to reverse that. Third is education. We've talked a little bit about that. Next is health care. I support Medicaid expansion to keep our hospitals open, and just for the humanitarian reasons that if you don't have access to health care, you're not going to go until it's too late. Tourism, another issue. We should be more than just a flyover state. we actually have black eyes nationally, even internationally. We look like a state that can't stay out of court for schools and can't build our roads. So we need to market our state for those outside of Kansas, and frankly, a lot of people in Kansas are down, and I want to change that. We should be proud of the state. The last, young professionals. How do we attract and retain young people in this state? We raise and educate all these great young people, and many leave. That shouldn't be happening. We should have opportunities for young people here. Those are our 6 topics.
Okay, and do you have some plans in place for each of those to be able to walk right into them?
Absolutely, absolutely, and we could talk about it for an hour. Education, economic development. I just had the opportunity to meet today with Dr. Carter File. Community college here doing great things. Also at ESDAC, the Education Center. Met with the chamber individuals, economic development director there, Abby. Absolutely, we have all kinds of ideas. Happy to talk about them right now, but the next governor needs to have substance and ideas. I hope there are enough voters in Kansas who are looking for a governor who will actually listen and work to develop solutions, common sense, rather than saying something like illegal immigrants are the cause of all of our woes, and that's what we should be focusing on. That's not our problem. We need to be focusing on other things like economic growth.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you so much for speaking with me today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And thank you so much for watching.